What crap are you too old for? This sounds like some Instagram crap, but spending time around people that I genuinely don't like or who make me unhappy and uncomfortable. There's so short of a time we have on this earth in this time frame, and it just hit me right before I turned 30 that I spent a ton of time with people who I thought sucked. I cut that out and I'm much happier. I did the same thing, and now I don't hang out with anyone. Staying up late, eating fast food, and going to work without proper rest and nutrition. I was invincible, but the day came where I had to add bran to my diet and turn the computer off at midnight. Once upon a time I used to get home from work at midnight, do homework until 2 AM, be at class at 8 AM the next day, and do it all over again. If I tried that now I would probably die. Adults with the mentality of children. People 30 plus that expect others to clean up after them. Now that I'm pushing 40, the amount of people my age that never grew up astounds me. IDK if I just have had fortunate experiences, but for the life of me I've never seen kids in their 20s and younger ever litter or leave huge messes. It's almost always the older generation just dumping trash or leaving public facilities in a mess. Drinking heavily. It takes days to recover now, and most bad hangovers come with an existential crisis attached. The existential crisis is the worst. Just lying there wondering what the heck you are doing with your life, what came to this and when you are going to grow out of it. Then it passes and life goes on. Facebook. There comes an age when you have to consider, do I really care what kind of clickbait crap my high school friends who I never talk to and never will see? Likes I only had Facebook because it helped with socializing in college high school. But afterwards it's really hard to want to add new friends because they can see your history, and you can too. Honestly, the only reason why I have a Facebook is because I still have my mom as my friend and she passed 4 years ago. Every time I go on there, I'm tired now. 1. Getting blackout drunk and willingly doing other stuff which adversely affects my physical and mental health. 2. Having friends who are not a positive influence in my life. 3. Taking crap from anyone. I'd say for me 3 is about choosing my battles. Being wise enough to know that someone is giving you crap CZ they're having a crappy day versus someone who needs to be shut down immediately. TikTok. I told myself when I get older I need to be open-minded and not a close-minded grumpy old man. Then I see all these obviously staged videos and corny dancing lip syncing stuff and realize it's inevitable I am not gonna be the cooler old guy. When Macy's Thanksgiving parade performers are introduced as TikTok sensation without any other credentials worth mentioning. Nailed it 45 here, and I remember that specific phrase from the parade yesterday and responded exactly the same way, and, big surprise, the guy's entire lip-synced performance was atrocious. Expending energy for people that have absolutely no desire to do the same for you. It sounds childish, but an ex-friend of 20 plus years had this habit of constantly making everything about her, and if the conversation didn't have anything to do about her, she didn't bother responding to you, and if she did, it was single word replies, or she'd just send if you were excited about something. For example, after finally having enough of that energy, I decided to stop putting energy into what felt like a one-sided friendship. I took a step back and stopped responding to her for about 2 months while I was recovering from dental surgery because I was in pain and didn't have patience for even myself during the time. It was for my mental health. After not hearing from her for those few months, I've come to find out she had deleted me, blamed me for being a fake friend and started playing the victim, just like the countless times she had done it in the past. I finally had enough and blocked her from everything. Something I've never done before because I've always wanted to give her a chance. I'm tired of the games, and I'm tired of putting energy into people that only want to steal yours. It may sting a bit at first, but down the road you won't regret it. Drama. It's like people don't realize that this life is it. This is what we've got, this one chance. Make it the very freaking best you can. I'm human, so sometimes easier said than done, but I never ever forget that being alive is a big deal. Being around people that don't respect my boundaries and also not communicating my boundaries. I've stayed in crappy relationships and kept crappy friends for longer than I should have because I was too afraid to communicate boundaries, or I was too afraid to stand up to people when they were acting crappy. Same. Once you start doing it though, it feels awesome. I'm way too freaking old for idiots. I'm too old for people willfully believing bulls in spite of ironclad scientific proof to the contrary. I'm too old for people worshipping politicians. I'm too old for people who think googling garbage is doing research. This is mine too. I can't deal with how freaking stupid so many people are. I wasn't a particularly bright teen, but even now I'm wondering how many 30 plus people are dumber than I was at 16. It's freaking exhausting and depressing. Lineups. Anywhere. I'll either pay to skip the line or go somewhere else. I don't care if it's a bar, restaurant, cinema, or theme park. I don't have time for that crap. Honestly, those superhero movies, all flash, no substance. I don't mean to harsh those who enjoy them, to each their own. I just don't personally enjoy them. I'll be standing around in some bar, talking about something that seems interesting, at least to me, when some guy breaks in talking about the latest comic book movie, and suddenly that's all anybody is talking about for the rest of the night. I feel like this describes the last 10 years of my life. People who skirt around important conversations by communicating with you on a platform other than the one your important message is on. If I send you a serious question over Facebook Messenger, don't be sending me TikToks and Insta posts while I'm waiting for your answer. It's basic decency. Just exit social media entirely. It's time. You owe it to yourself, lemon salted. Being cheated on in a 1.5 year relationship and then being broken up with over Facebook Messenger using excuse after excuse after excuse until finally he tells me the whole truth. We are both in our early 30s. Yeah, this is still fresh. Sorry. What a cowardly cockbucket. Being treated with disrespect I did not earn. I don't care if you're my boss, my mom, my friend, or a customer. Treat me like crap. You'll get yours. This. Frick. I'm the most amicable guy most days, but I had a new boss start off condescending me basically as soon as we met. Sorted that out quick. I will not tolerate disrespect. I do nothing to earn it. 3 years ago, our consulting team was transferred to the worst run project I had ever worked on in my 45-year career. 2 or 3 months in, after a particularly frustrating meeting with the project manager, I turned to my boss and declared, "My basket of fricks to give has completely run dry. I retired." I was like that cinematic cop 2 weeks from retirement who declares, "I'm getting too old for this crap." People, mainly young girls, who scream for no reason. I understand if you're terrified of something, but screaming when you meet up with your friends or just when the situation does not call for it makes me so mad. I find it so infuriating. Just shut up. LOL. A massive amount of food consumed at once. It makes me sick just trying to eat a small portion of it. Not to mention what happens after and what it takes to recover. This is coming from someone that had a big problem with binge eating. At 52 I'm too dang old for other people's balls. I now have my filter switched off and tell them to go get fricked when they start. Giving a frick about non-core aspects of my job the boss thinks are important. Honesty, efficiency, making money for the business and happy customers. Yes. Whether the wheelbarrows are lined up cheapest to most expensive, rather than vice versa. Whether the racks are kept full, as opposed to stocked. Whether the jerry cans are in gardening, or automotive. I simply don't give a frick. Helping people move. If it is a dear friend or a relative, I'll give you $100 to put towards movers. Or I'll rent and drive a truck for you. I have driven bigger trucks most of my life. Anyone else? Sorry. After 40, pizza and beer isn't worth 8 hours of my life and the toll it will undoubtedly take on my body. I aged out of many things. TV, attractiveness to men, pop music, heavy drinking, arguing on the internet. Look, you'll be here a while if I keep going. There is something freeing about aging out of attractiveness. I like to swim. When I started going back to the pool a few years ago, I was worried about what I looked like in the lifeguards. On my first trip, I realized the lifeguards were all 15-20 and would not care about my 39-year-old butt. From then on, I was way less nervous. Being told I shouldn't enjoy a holiday because at one point in time shady people or crappy events were attached to it. Frick off, Jessica. I am using today to reflect on what I should be thankful for and making sure to let those I'm thankful for know it. Being told that I shouldn't like other things as well. Cheesy music, fun catchphrases, YouTube videos I've already seen 5 times. I know all this stuff isn't for everyone, but to quote a character from Family Guy, I'm not supposed to like that either. I like licking stuff. Bro types that are around my age, 35, that all they do is brag about their partying and their subpar treatment of women, then come to me feeling down about not being successful in finding a girl, so I give them advice, and they like it, but the next day they are back at it, like, I don't mind helping younger dudes but come on, people my age should know better. As much as I'd hate to admit it, FPS games. My 36-year-old potato butt can't keep up. Multiplayer games like COD are fun to play with, but trying to be competitive is like peeing in the wind. I don't have the time anymore to dedicate large chunks of time to just grind. I enjoy them, but I'm far past my prime. Falling down. A good way to tell if you're too old in other people's eyes is if you fall over in front of other people. If people point at you and laugh, you're not seen as being old. If they run over to help you looking all concerned, you're probably too old for that in their eyes at least. Not being up to date or binge watching popular TV shows, Netflix series, and not caring about them either. I got absolute zero interest in Squid Game despite hearing a lot about them. I just don't have the old energy anymore. I just watch some informative YouTube videos for entertainment. Debt. You love it when you're young, then you realize you eventually have to pay it all back. I'll take a mortgage on but frick anything else, even Afterpay. I don't get it why every mall has now this thing that the map is like a phone app. What total bollocks. Just give a map on the wall or something. I can read it. I don't need a app that probably tracks my movements too, because even if you have GPS setting off they can track you. For F's sake, just give a map. I drank almost a whole bottle of wine yesterday. Today I've had to pretend I'm okay all day. It's really not worth it anymore. The Christmas holiday season. It was great as a kid and fun when my kids were little. Now it is a giant pain in the butt and I dread it once November 1st hits. Least favorite time of the year. All the gift giving and get-togethers. Blah. Most social media. I don't do Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, or Twitter. All I do is read the news and use Reddit and YouTube. Caring about what other people think. I'm 24 and I see a lot of people afraid to order something, afraid to wear something or do something in public because they're afraid of what strangers will think of them. Frick that. If you're not feeding me, financing me or fricking me, I simply could not care less what you think of me. Order that funny meal, wear your new leather jacket, take the funny picture with your kids. You only have one life. Why be afraid of what strangers who you'll never see again think of you? If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.